2D, what does that stand for?
David Day, 2D.
Got flipped like a fly.
We've been here we moved here in the early 80s. Of course, it was run down and wasn't no fences, and so we went to cleaning up and dozing and trying to get where we could run more cattle. In the 90s, my son got up big enough, he wanted to start riding bulls. I rode until I was 32 years old, and I finally retired. So that's when we started in the bull business. In the 90s, there wasn't hardly very many people was raising bulls. I was sitting at sale barns, so any bull that looked like it would buck, I'd buy it. And my wife kept track that year, and I bought 90 some bulls. There's all what we call cold-blooded. That means they just out of anything. And I got one bull that really bucked. And I had a little bull, I bought him at Green Forest Sale Barn. We called him Stone Cold. He was the deal. Well, I was going around to some deals, and this guy seen him. And he said, "You want to sell that bull?" Well, Sammy Andrews, which has still got a pro card and still puts on pro rodeos, he'd heard about him. And in the 90s, $10,000 for a bucking bull was a lot of money. I priced him for $10,000, and Sammy bought him. Well, I thought I'd hit a home run, you know. I mean, I was rich then, you know.
How much would you had bought him for?
I give $430 for him, you know. But I'd went through 90 bulls that year trying to find something that bucked. I had a guy call me and he said, "There's the coolest bull here you ever seen, Jonesboro, Arkansas. A horn up and a horn down." And boy, he was mean. And we called him Dagger. Well, I took some crossbred cows and put that bull on them. And the first calf that was born was a little black bull with a line back. And so when he got big enough to buck, boy, he bucked. And I thought, man, there ain't nothing to this. And I sold him to a friend of mine. He just wasn't getting into bull business. He messed with them for a year or two, and he said, this ain't gonna work. And so I went up, and he had, and there was a red bull on him. Boy, he was big for his age. I kept bucking him. I was going to a lot of touring pros, PBRs then, and he got huge. I took him to an event or two, and he'd buck one time. One time he might not buck as good as I thought he should. So I flanked him different one day, and he clicked, and it was Mississippi Hippie. And that's where Mississippi Hippie come from. He was out of a sister to Josey Wales, which I raised him, and he made the PBR finals, and he was my favorite bull of all. Our base of our breeding program is out of Josey Wales. I never would sell him. The first time I took him to Indianapolis to PBR. JB Mauney had him, and he was just a big 3-year-old. Man, he bucked. And JB rode him. He made the PBR finals 2 or 3 times. But he was my favorite bull. But Mississippi Hippie always stole the limelight because he weighed 2,300 pounds. Kenny McElroy got to wanting to buy him, and Mississippi Hippie was about 6-year-old. So I sold him to him. And we lived in the old house down here, and I called my wife and I said, "Drive the stakes, we're fixing to build a new house." There's the house.
I'd say let's check out the arena next, and yeah.
This is where we start the kids, right here. And kids play basketball.
Yeah, this is neat. They're just sand?
Yeah, and boy, it's good. You got to wet it down, you know, keep it wet. But man, it's really good sand for them bulls. Yeah, I've seen lots of good wrecks out here.
I assume, I mean, because you're raising these bucking bulls, like, you have to have riders testing these and riding them out, right? Well, where do you find the guys?
Usually, we'd buck a lot of bulls at home. But everybody's so sue happy anymore. You know, we're pretty leery who we bring in. Yeah. You know, they better know how to ride or we're not gonna let them ride. Yeah. Maverick Smith now, he rides for Bass Pro, the team they've got on the PBR.
Okay.
But he just lives over here, not very far, and he's a good friend of my grandson.
When I think of Missouri, especially south of Missouri, I don't think of this being a rodeo bucking bull area, but you grew up in it down here?
I rodeoed until I was 32 years old, and you know, I'd go to Oklahoma and Texas and Iowa, but I kind of stayed, you know, around where I could make sure I was back ready to go to work on Monday. Finally, your old body just gets beat up so bad, I couldn't hardly get out of bed one morning after we'd been. And I went to an event and I had a bull draw that I'd always rode. I'd rode that bull 2 or 3 times over the years, and I had him again. And man, he slam dunked me, and I thought, you know, it might be about time to quit. So that was about, I give her up. And then here come my kids, and they all wanted to rodeo. When you go getting kids, then you go to thinking about different things.
Yeah.
I couldn't have never made it work if it hadn't been, you know, for my wife and the kids, because I was going to a lot of PBRs, and hey, I'd leave out here on a Thursday and, you know, wouldn't be back till Sunday. My wife, she's always one of these people that if a calf need to be pulled, she could pull the calf. So I always tell everybody, if you're gonna get in the farming business, don't never buy a piece of equipment your wife can't run. Your wife's gotta be able to run that, because you might not be there to run it. So between her and the kids, you know, they helped keep the ranch going while I was traveling. And I'd leave out on a Sunday afternoon at a PBR somewhere and drive all night to get home to be sitting at a sale the next morning to buy cattle, because people expected me to be there. And so, and then next week, right back in that old semi, and away I'd go again.
Golly.
You know, and
Not a day off.
no, there wasn't no days off. There's no days off on a ranch. If you're sitting in the house, something's going to heck. You know, you better be out checking stuff.
Still seems like when we're down here, like we're back in time almost.
You are, and that's what we like. You know, we go to town, we can't wait to get back home.
This time of year with weather, you're not really messing with these guys, right?
No, it's too hot. Now we'll get up and go to an event. I'll show you a video of this tan bull. We raised him. He might be the rankest bull I've ever raised.
What do you mean by that?
Buckiness bull. And
This one right here?
he's had a lot of bad luck. One thing, he's wild. He got crippled on me as a short 3-year-old. So I had to turn him out. So he's behind on size. And I got him over it, and I brought him back in, and I thought, that bull ain't eating right. So I took him to the vet. Well, sometime or another, when he was a calf, he knocked all his teeth out. He ain't got no teeth. And so that's the reason he's up here, and he's probably, since I put him up by himself, he's probably put on 200 pounds. And he's about ready to go now. I bucked him. You know, he's had 3 or 4 riders. He's about a year behind on his size because he got hurt. You know, one that don't buck, he don't never get crippled. But one that bucks, he'll get crippled.
He almost looks intimidating.
He is very intimidating. He's a different duck. We got a lot of half brothers to him. We got a full brother to him, and they all want a buck, but he sticks out.
And he's got a thick neck.
Yeah, he's just starting to mature because he got hurt, and we don't never know. But right now he looks like he could be a superstar. But anything can change anytime.
How much does he weigh right now?
I'd say a little bull's probably just weighing 1,300. I need to get him weighing 1,450, but he'll catch up.
These guys get special diets.
Oh, a lot of people do. Ours eat a commodity feed, 12, 15 pound a day. They don't miss no meals.
Back in the day, what did this ground go for an acre, roughly?
$240.
$240 an acre? Whew. He says today down in this area, what have you seen him go for?
Oh, they're anywhere from 3,000 to 4,000 an acre.
So 10 times the price.
You can't buy land now and cattle pay for it. We always run beef Angus cows, and they help pay for the ranch. You know, there was no money left over at that time. A good calf, $250, all it'd bring. Everybody's breeding program anymore is just getting better and better and better. You know, they just keep breeding them best bulls. Like Mississippi Hippie, to me, he was a freak of nature. Everybody bred a few cows to him, but none of them really produced. But them bulls that are really extremely nice bulls, but maybe ain't at the, you know, very, very top, that's the one you want to breed to.
Over the years, have you bought more and more property that have joined this?
80 or 90 over there, 145 across the creek.
What makes this good cattle country?
It'll grow grass. You know, you ain't gonna grow no corn down here. We're just grass farmers. If we don't have grass, we don't have nothing.
This part of the area, is there black bears down in this area, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, do you have problems with predators at all? With
Coyotes, black buzzards, they'll kill a baby calf in a minute. So let me see if there's a bigger bunch over there. Them are 2s and 3s.
Oh, these are big boys over here.
Well,
man,
old breeding bull. See, he's a bull that we bred with. Matter of fact, that tan bull up there, that's his daddy.
so when's the last time these have been bucked?
They've had about a month off. There's the bull that hooked that guy on the fence, that white bull. That's him. They can tear up a lot of stuff, I can tell you that.
So you almost have to have some welded up.
Everything. You know, I just had a welder down here a month ago and they done tore all the gates off. Now, are they all good enough to go to a PBR? Probably not. But is there 7 or 8 in there that is? Yes.
If you're taking these to a rodeo up in Illinois or whatever, like, I mean, you got to make sure you're getting paid fairly to take them all up there. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just that time, but like all the money you got invested in it. How do you figure what?
You just kind of hope it pays all the feed bills. That's about all you can hope for. But there's always that one that comes along that you can sell. And
So that's the goal. Is it's not.
Yeah.
It's more trying to get that one.
It's not easy. Everybody thinks it's easy when they're setting up in the crowd. Oh, I need a bull. Well, you get in there and get you some of it. It's not as easy as you think. When we started our breeding program, he's that bull called Dagger. He was bad. And so Ozark had a 100-head bull riding. So I take him. He's 4-year-old. First night, he broke a boy's leg. The second night, he broke another boy's leg. So I brought him home and put him on cows and raised kids out of him, and they're about as stupid as he was. Not quite. And so we raised, but Joe Dirt come from that, and then Mississippi Hippie come from that, see.
Oh.
So that's where it all started from.
Is there such thing as having too
Mean
mean of a bull?
Yeah. Terry Williams, he was the big man in the PBR at that time, and he'd heard about Dagger, and he called me. He said, bring him to Shreveport, Louisiana. He said, I got a bull rider here, we're gonna test him. Not very many people around, you know, kind of quiet, you know, not a lot of cameras, stuff like that around. Man, this bull bucked, throwed this kid off. Terry said, can I take him with me? Try him. And I said, well, yeah, I don't care, I knew Terry. Anyway, they take him to the event. Well, there's them cameras in this bull's face, and he's mean. And all he's trying to do is kill people in the bucking shoots. Well, they had to tie him in there. Well, he'd never been tied in a shoot in his life. Well, when he come out, all he's wanting to do is kill everybody. So that didn't work. That's what you was talking about, being too mean? Yes. I could take him anywhere and get along fine, but everybody had to get back. We had to buck the bull. But after he broke them legs, I think he was about 8-year-old, and I thought, he's surely calmed down now, I can buck him. So I was going to a bull riding in Illinois, and we buck him. He hooks a far, bucks this kid off, hooks a far out of him, cuts his face. I never bucked him again. That was it. Yeah, they can be too mean. You can ask any kid in this country that rode bulls, have you ever heard of Dagger? And they're gonna say, yeah, I've heard of Dagger. We know him. So anyway, let's go look at the bucking cows.
So bucking cows, these are cows you're strictly breeding those bulls to raise.
Bucking bulls.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what else to call them. They're a bucking, you know, that's what you do with them.
What's the furthest you've hauled bucking bulls?
Allentown, Pennsylvania, Detroit. I always got them hauled to Vegas. I didn't put them on somebody's truck. My wife, she's a big deer hunter. She had a tree stand that's right back there in them trees. I was at a sale. She called me. Said, these cows won't let me out of this tree. I was plumb at West Plains. She had to stay up in that tree stand until I got home, and I come down the road and honked, and them cows thought I was gonna feed them, and they come to me and she crawled down the tree.
That's kind of scary.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, Edie, and you can send them to us, but if there's any like photos or anything on the wall, we can just film. It could be kind of cool.
Come on. We ain't got very many. My wife won't let them hang them up. But it's a funny thing. I'll show you why. This is the reason I can't put up no deer pictures or bucking bulls. Them are hers. Dagger,
Oh, yeah.
I said, one horn up, one horn down. There he is. That's the grandpa to Mississippi Hippie right there. And he knew how to use them. Like I say, she won't let me put up very many pictures, but here's Josey Wales. That is true. There's Josey Wales, there's Mississippi Hippie. That's J.B. Mauney right there under him. This, like I say, Josey didn't get the recognition that Hippie did because he was so big and you just couldn't ride him, but Josey was my favorite bull. About every cow that you've seen over there goes back to Josey. Okay. He weighed 2350 when I sold him. He was huge. He's just a freak of nature. When I was a kid, my dad had Bobtail Cats, and you can't hardly find one. So I found some. So I thought, I'm gonna raise some of them Bobtail Cats. They're all Bobtail, I think there's 2 long tails, but they're all spoke for. If you got a Bobtail Cat, everybody wants it. So every time I'd ride a horse up here checking cattle, I always told my wife, I said, if I ever build a house, it's gonna be right up over that tree. And when we sold Mississippi Hippie, I said, we'll ride the stakes. We're gonna build that house up over that tree.
Yeah, I can see why. I mean, just the view that you have up here is amazing.
Yeah, I always wanted to be on top where I could see what was going on, you know. But sometimes you look out the window and see work to be done. You don't want to look out. You dread it.
David, it was a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah,
Thank you so
too.
much for having us out here, man.
Yeah.
What a treat to see this here out here in southern Missouri like this.
You're definitely in the hills. So,
a little piece of history out here.
yeah, anytime. Appreciate having you.
Yeah.